Hi everyone, and welcome to Module 4 on making decisions. In making decisions, you will learn certain statements, control statements, that allow your code to, based on a certain condition, execute some code or skip over some code. So this builds more flexibility into your programs. The statements that you're going to be learning, the control statements, are if statements, switch statements, Boolean expressions. And as you know, a Boolean will result in a true or a false. So an expression evaluates and results in a true, so that you could build your code around if something results in a true, execute these statements. If the expression results in a false, skip over those statements. So again, as I said earlier, it allows you to build more flexibility and some intelligence into your programs. If you scroll down and you look at what you have available to you, assignment 4 is split into 2 parts, just as in module 3. And if you click on each of these links, you'll get a little bit of information on them. What I wanted to draw your attention to is the first assignment, assignment 4A, I moved the due date again to Monday, October 20th, whereas before I had it on a Friday, and I've been doing that consistently, so I think I'm going to change that in the course schedule for all the modules. It seems like it's a little better to have a little more time for that first half of the assignment, and I'll make them both available at the same time so that if you finish one, you can just move right into the next. When you click on the link, as I said, there will be a little bit more information here on where to go. Open your Revel eText module and then click on the Open Your Book link. A couple of hints down here on what to do, what not to do. Just keep in mind that an expression is a part of a statement. It's just this part. This is an example of an expression, whereas an entire statement would require something like this, right? You see assignment, you see an equal sign, and you see then the expression as well, completed by a semicolon. So make sure that you are looking and reading very critically and carefully what they're asking you to do. If they ask you to write an expression, it's only this part of the statement, no semicolon. If they're asking you to write a statement, it's the full equation. Looks like an equation. It is an assignment statement, evaluates the expression, puts the answer here in result, and follows by a semicolon at the end. Okay, let's see if there's anything else here. I think that's it here. Just make sure that when you're completing those exercises in Revel in your textbook, that you are scrolling all the way down to the bottom. What I've noticed is in the case of chapter 4 here, because they're if statements that we'll be learning, you'll have test conditions. So there's a lot of emphasis on how do you test whether something is true or false? What kind of data do you use to test with? So even in your book, the questions in your book, they will be testing your answers with different data. So scroll down to the bottom so that you can see what the test data is that they're testing with and what their expected output is. Okay, so that's assignment 4A. And assignment 4B. 4B notice is due on October 24th. And there is a short video here by Professor Sorrentino. She goes and explains and demonstrates a sample program using decision statements and talks about how things are structured. Up until this point, our programs have been sequential. Complete statement 1, then complete statement 2, etc. Very sequential in fashion. When you get to working with decision statements, you can create what we call branching, meaning, as I said earlier, you would execute statements or skip statements. And this, again, builds a lot of smarts and intelligence into your programs. So I would highly recommend watching this video. It's going to help you eventually with the project that I will assign. The next thing you have is a discussion. In the discussion, I have this document with questions inside. So I'm just going to open this document just to show you. Right, so you can see all these questions, question A, B, C. There are 23 questions in here. And each question will ask you a little something like, the syntax is wrong, correct the syntax. Or it may ask you to write a couple lines of code. There are different types of questions in here. So what I am asking is that you choose a question and post your answer. When you post your answer, the title of your post should be the question you answer. So I just wanted to say question A, question B, etc., just so everyone at a glance knows what you're answering, because each student must answer a different question. Inside your post, please include the original question. This way we don't have to go back to the document to look at what the question is. In your response, if you believe that it looks correct, that a student responded correctly to the question, you can go ahead and say that this looks correct. Or if you see something wrong with it and you have an idea of what may be incorrect, you can post your response in that way. What I don't want to see is everyone posting to one post that the answer looks correct. So you don't want 5 different students saying, oh, yep, looks good. So I would like you to respond to different students when you post your responses. Okay. The project will be available no later than Monday, October 20th, and as usual, I'll have a short video and some examples on what I'm looking for. And then finally, the quiz. So the quiz will be available on the 27th and the 28th. There are some quiz review materials in this folder here. So do look things over. You have the review topics, you have practice questions, and their solutions posted. I will have a practice quiz available for you. I'm still working on that, so it's not quite ready yet. But I will put that out there very shortly. And I believe that's it for the chapter. So if there are any questions or if you have any concerns, please contact me.